Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about how your brain builds resilience, and it's a simple guide. So I'm just going to really just share with you the things that I've learned that I've focused on that have helped me, and I hope that can be of help to someone else. Your brain is like a muscle that gets stronger the more you use it. This ability to change and grow is called neuroplasticity, and it's your secret weapon for building resilience. When you face a challenge, your brain creates pathways like trails in a forest. The more you walk a trail, the clearer it becomes. Every time you handle stress well, you're making that good coping trail stronger in your brain. Think of it this way: your brain has two main trails when problems arise. You've got the panic trail, which is, this is terrible, I can't handle this. And then you have the problem solving trail, which is, this is tough, but I can figure it out. The trail you use most becomes your brain's default route. So it's basically a three-step brain training process. Notice the challenge, or the first step is to notice what the challenge is, what the problem that you're presented with is. When something stressful happens, your brain automatically wants to take the familiar path. Just noticing this moment is the first step to changing it. It happens like a reflex. You have to be aware of it. The second step is to choose your response. Instead of automatically panicking, pause and ask yourself, what's one small thing I can do right now that builds your problem-solving trail? Celebrate the wins. That's the third step. Your brain learns through positive reinforcement. So when you handle something well, acknowledge it. This strengthens the pathways so that you want to use it more. Now, there's simple ways to build brain resilience. Like I said, I cover a lot of this in the Rewire, but I'm going to share some of it here. Start small. Okay, it's a 2-minute rule. Don't try to tackle huge challenges first. Your brain learns better with small wins. Example, you can't find your keys. Take a deep breath before searching. In fact, take 3 deep breaths before you start searching. You're in a traffic jam. Use it as a chance to practice patience. Small work problem, break it into one tiny step. Practice the good enough mindset. Perfectionism creates stress pathways. Instead, aim for good enough and watch how your brain relaxes. This creates pathways that say, I can handle imperfection. Takes the pressure off, and you still get it done. Use the next right thing approach is what I want to talk about next. When you feel overwhelmed, don't think about solving everything. Just ask, what's the next right thing I can do? This builds problem-solving pathways without overwhelming your brain. You can read about all this stuff about neuroplasticity and the ways that you can incorporate it. And believe me, their thoughts do change. I'm really just amazed at that in my own experience. Your thoughts are capable of changing. The thing is to incorporate it into your everyday life when things come up out of nowhere. And it's not that you're not going to face challenges, it's the response you want to have. You don't want to go straight into, is it flee or fright mode? You want to stay in the moment and deal with it. That's how you resolve issues and how you come up with solutions, not by panicking because that's just life. Life is just going to do that. I used to always think it was about circumventing everything bad and, uh, nothing bad will happen. And only good things will happen. You only have these positive emotions. And that's not true. You can come from a calm place within yourself But the problems, that's just the nature and identity of life. And that's what used to scare me. And it's something to be afraid of. It's just, you deal with it. I don't mean this long drawn out woe is me and anything that happens, whatever I go through. No, you systematically deal with it until it becomes unsystematic and becomes a habit. So that was what I was saying. And I have notes that I'm reading from because you know I can't hold all this stuff. But I have notes that I'm reading from. And so I'm going to continue. So back what I was saying is, use the next right thing approach. When you're overwhelmed, don't think about solving everything. Just ask, what's the next right thing I can do? This builds problem-solving pathways without overwhelming your brain. The 5-minute daily brain workout that might help with this, it's just a tip, just a suggestion. You have to find what works for you. You eventually you will gravitate towards whatever I'm saying here that is important. I just started making these videos, and I'm really liking doing this because it's giving me a chance to present what I know uh, in a more helpful way, I think. So that's another thing. I can tell that I'm not all over the place like I was when I first started making videos. I can tell that. Even nobody else can. I can tell that. 'Cause at the time I was all over the place, feeling pulled and pushed with things that were happening to me that were beyond my control. And that's what got me on the path, like I say, that led to this whole thing about neuroplasticity and just sitting in the driver's seat. And like I said, it becomes more natural. If you've never done that, it feels overwhelming and it feels foreign at first. But as you do it, as I'm saying, your neurological pathways change. I can't stress that enough, that the things that I practice with these little rewire cards, these brain cue cards, it's like I'm saying, and I say them with heart-filled intentions, with good intentions. This is what I want. And nothing seems to happen. The next day, I can tell, not even the next day, I'm going to say if something else occurs, it doesn't throw me off my square. So I can't speak enough about that, about the positive benefits of it. So back to what I was saying, give 1 or 2 minutes of gratitude practice. Think of 3 things that went well today, even tiny ones. This builds positive thinking pathways. This stuff is so obvious and in your face, and it's happening in real time, that if you didn't break it down and slow it down to notice it, you're caught up in the automatic current of it. So it'll be hard to see what I'm saying if you've never just chilled and just watched this unfold. So now the 3 to 4 minutes after you do this gratitude practice and think of the 3 things that went well today, do 3 to 4 minutes of challenge reframe. Think of one current challenge and ask, how might this help me grow? This builds adaptation pathways. For 5 minutes after that, future self-visualization. Imagine yourself handling tomorrow's challenges calmly. This pre-builds resilience pathways. And that's basically what I'm talking about here. That as you slow this down and stop letting your emotions have a trigger effect, or events have a knee-jerk trigger effect on you, you start to see there's a pattern here. And it's not a control pattern. It's like you are in control, or I am in control, the person who ever experiencing whatever it is. I hope that makes sense. So just a few real life examples. Example 1. Say you spill some coffee or some juice or milk or whatever. You waste something. Well, your old brain pattern says, I'm so clumsy. Oh, the rest of the day is going to be rotten. Everything's ruined because this happened. You set the tone for the day, or you're trying to set it to the negativity. Your new brain pattern should say, oops, that was an accident. Accidents happen. I'll clean it up and move on. You don't dwell on things. How I learned rumination was because I grew up in rumination. Nothing was ever let go. It was always just, it's like a case study or something of why this happened. What did you do? There was no room for error. But I digress. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about these ideas that you can take neuroplasticity and change the way you see everything. And like I will say again, it does not take, I've done it for so, it does not take a long time is what I was going to say. I've done it for so long because when it started working, because I noticed it within the first week, that it's like and I was going through a very stressful time. And I noticed that it's like something lifted from me, like uh, stress levels I wasn't even aware had reached a Richter scale because I'm built for this. I can deal with this. I've had to deal with this. And I felt this sense of calm trying to come in almost from the sidelines versus what I seem to be experiencing at that current moment. Another example is like a difficult conversation. And I meet a lot of people who are going through this. This is like a family DNA thing with me. And I find that I've attracted friends who are like this too. In the past, at least I have. That I can't handle conflict, so I'll avoid this. That's the old brain pattern. But the new brain pattern thinking is, this feels uncomfortable, but I can speak up calmly. Result is your brain learns you can handle difficult situations. Last example, the setback. Okay, I failed. That's an old brain pattern. I failed. I'm not good at this. I'm horrible at this. I'm stupid. I'll never get this right. And that right there is the worst self-talk that you can ever have. But it runs, like I say, on a subconscious level until you stop and catch it. It's a part of a loop it seems natural because it's a habit, but it's not your natural self-talk. If you're talking to yourself in any type of negative way, you need to stop it. You need to just stop. Just when you catch it, stop it. So many people go through the day without being aware of what is actually occurring. I used to have this thing where I was stressed out. I would say, well, tomorrow it would be over. And I'm talking about something as simple as going to the dentist or going to the doctor or any situation I did not like. And I think, well, this time tomorrow it'll be over. I'm giving away my present moment in anticipation or trying to diffuse what I don't want to experience. That's the most disservicing thing you can do to yourself. Enjoy every moment here. Stay in the now. So the old brain pattern, like I said, is I failed. I'm not good at this. I'm no good at this. I'm stupid. I'm never going to get this right. I'm a failure. New brain pattern should be this didn't work. What can I learn and try differently? And the result is your brain learns that setbacks are information, not defeat. It was always presented to me differently, and I absorbed it like that and kept it with me for decades, which is if something goes wrong, it's because you didn't do something right. I repeat, your brain learns that setbacks are information, not defeat. So for the next 21 days, I want to challenge you. Pick one simple practice and do it daily for 21 days. That's roughly how long it takes to start building new brain pathways. First week, focus on noticing your stress reactions without judging them. Week 2, add a small coping strategy like 3 deep breaths. Week 3, celebrate each time you handle something different than before. Why this works. Your brain doesn't know the difference between a big challenge and a small one when it comes to resilient pathway. It's early. I'm sorry. I'm throat's kind of dry. I feel like there's sandpaper in my throat, but I'm feeling good today. And as I was saying, the brain doesn't know the difference between a big challenge and a small one when it comes to building resilience pathways. Every time you choose a helpful response over a panic response, you are literally rewiring your brain. The best part, you don't need to be perfect. Even choosing the better response 60% of the time will start changing your brain's default settings. So I'm not going to go into all of this challenge right here, but I will leave a link in the in the on the post community page for this challenge. It'll be just a Google Doc from me to you of just getting an idea of how this works. And if you want to go deeper into it, like I said, the rewire will be available soon. But this can help you see what I'm talking about. 21 days are going to pass anyway. Start with one tiny change today. Your brain will thank you because it's becoming more resilient for tomorrow. So that's all I really wanted to say. I took this video a little bit longer than what I wanted to say or wanted to. I've been trying to keep them short. But I'm just really excited to be making this because this is really what seems to be my driving passion. It seems to be my driving passion to talk about this. And because, like I said, it has brought me back from a place I thought I couldn't come back from, of how I rationalize. And, rationalization skills should be taught in school, and it should be taught at home. But when you learn it, when it appears, it's when you're ready for it. So like I said, check in the description, or not the description box, but on the post community page, my post community page, for the link to this 21-day challenge. And leave me some comments on this video and let me know how it worked for you. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised. So that's all I wanted to say. Talk to you soon.